Hello everyone and welcome back to the Spiegel Mom Scraps channel. It's Caitlin here with another process video. Today I'm featuring two adorable photos of my cat Lily, and I'll also be using this paper, which is from Pink Fresh Studio. I'm using the B side of it, which is a light pink with like red tally marks on it, and I'll also be using the Lucky Charm 6x6 paper pad. Throughout the month of June, I will be using 6x6 paper pads on all of my layouts, trying to feature them in different ways to try to put a dent into my 6x6 paper stash. So I hope you guys enjoy that here on the Spiegel Mom Scraps channel as well as over on my personal channel. My initial idea is that I really wanted to emphasize the story behind these photos, and it's that our cat Lily really loves this little brown mouse, which you can see better in the second photo. In the top photo, she's actually like nudging it with her head. And yes, she is upside down, but she's in a cat tree, so it makes more sense that way. I'm also going to be using these beautiful On Trend 2 die cut pieces. I thought I'd end up using a lot more than I originally intended. I only end up using about 2, but you'll see why that is in a second. But they do match this paper pad beautifully as well, which is really, really nice to know that those coordinate well in the future so I can use them. I'm going to start by pulling out, I think I end up pulling out 5 in total, but 5 of the 6x6 sheets. And this is a brand new paper pad for me. I know it's super old, but I just picked it up last month, I believe, and I'm finally getting around to using it. So I start with 4, but I will go back and get a 5th one just so the pattern matches better. But to get started, I'm going to trim my photos down. I just usually cut off 1/4 of an inch if they are 4x6. That way they lay nicely on top of a 4x6 or a 6x6 paper, so the photo mat actually fits around the photo. Then I'm going to start my pattern papers and cutting them into 1.5 inch strips. Nothing more, just 1.5 inch strips. And then I'll be offsetting them as I go. So I end up picking these patterns because there's a polka dot, a ombre, sort of a plain color, the horizontal or vertical stripe. This time I'm doing vertical instead, and then a script font. None of these compete with the background. They're all relatively neutral. The patterns are quite small on these, so they don't compete with the background in the main 12x12 as well. So I thought these went really, really well together. And if you looked at these, you wouldn't get necessarily the color scheme out of the paper pad. The paper pad has a lot more colors in it than these ones. These are the ones I just decided to highlight. And these will be the basis behind my photos. Now I think this technique works well with 12x12 papers as well, and also smaller photos. So definitely try this out if you're looking for something new to do with mixing and matching your patterns. What I was really looking for in these wood veneer sections was an arrow, but I couldn't find one, so I ended up opting out of that idea. I really like the placement of the flower in the bottom corner there, and I definitely want to work with that. Here's where I eliminate most of the other die cuts from my selection, and I also pull out that heart. Now I'm going to quickly glue these down. I almost did mess up the pattern here, but I ended up fixing it so we could just, keep on going. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit more so you don't have to watch me glue each of these down, but I am just offsetting them just a little bit to make sure that it gives a little bit more interest. Now you can do this as wonky as you wish. They could all line up perfectly, totally up to you. I know a lot of people do this style with fringe scissors as well, so if you're looking for something a little bit more crazy and fun, try out some fringe scissors and try that out on another layout. So here I have my 2 cat pictures. Obviously the paper doesn't pull out on both sides, but that's okay. I could easily have done more layers behind these photos, but again, simple layout for a cute story. So here I also have this tab. I thought I was going to be able to tuck it in, but the gold foil just did a little bit too much and looked funny there. So I put my flower in place, and then I start thinking about adding a couple little bit more embellishment pieces. I do end up being able to pull in some washi tape here. This washi tape matches this ombre teal paper perfectly, so I just put 2 strips of it down to give it a little bit more fun and break up the basic pattern just a little bit. Here's where the fun begins. Whenever I see a big die cut like this, I think I want to cover it with sequins like on the underside. So you'll see what I mean in a second. So the title ends up being Love That Mouse, but it's just a heart, so Heart That Mouse. And these are some gold with light pink foam underneath them. Beautiful thickers. This is the first time I've used them. I think they go very well with the layout. And again, just Love That Mouse will be the title. I do have trouble laying down thickers, and I did buy the thicker alignment guide, but I'm currently unpacking, so when I do find that, I'm sure it'll be quite useful for these types of situations. But I'm just going to put that down there. And whenever I want to put sequins around a die cut shape, I always make sure to put it on fun foam first so the sequins can actually tuck under the shape. This is a major step in this process. You'll want to do this if you're going to try out this technique. So just a little bit of fun foam. You could even use those foam dots or foam squares, and then you put it down. That's it. Now you have to choose what kind of sequins you want. That's always the hardest part for me because there's always so many choices from Spiegel Mom Scraps that you can pick out. I did think I was also going to add a couple more embellishments. I thought I do want to pull in the wood veneer. I don't want to pull in the wood veneer. I want to pull in some more gold items. I want to pull in some flare. I didn't need to do that. So we skip right ahead to the sequins. Now I picked out a couple different sets because I wasn't sure which ones I wanted to use. I ended up going with Peaches and Cream and Hippity Hoppity. Hippity Hoppity has a perfect mint green color in the spiral shaped circles, which I really like because they had a lot of texture and dimension to a layout. So I picked out those as well as the medium-sized peach one. Sorry, I don't know the exact size of the sequins, but what I do is lay down a thin line of glue, again, kind of tucking it underneath the heart because it's on fun foam, so we can tuck here. But this is definitely a great way to make your die cuts seem like they are like so beyond amazing. Like they have so much more detail when you add sequins around them. And I do end up creating a pattern. I do 4 peach sequins and 1 mint sequin. Even though the mint sequin's a different size, I like that it sticks out a little bit more because it's almost like you're creating a scalloped heart. So this is definitely a great way to add more texture to your layouts and also use more sequins. And I really love creating my own custom color mixes this way, mixing multiple sequin packs together. This is also great if you wanted to emphasize a, photo. You could do the same thing, put your photo on fun foam, add sequins around the edge, and there you have it. So while I rapidly do this, it did take a little bit, but only because I didn't have my tweezers. You'll see sometimes that I'll pick up the cap and try to move the sequins with my cap, my glue cap that is. That didn't work out very well. So if you have tweezers, it's a lot faster, or if you use glue dots, it's a lot faster. But I had a couple sequins also to the bottom right hand corner, and that will be it for this layout. I plan on putting some journaling on the blank blocks of the pattern paper. I think that's a good spot for it. And I apologize if the camera bounced here. I did knock my table and therefore the tripod just a little bit. But here's a close-up of that heart. Doesn't it just look so, it looks expensive, if that makes any sense, just because of that glitz and gleam from these sequins. But that's it for today's process video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll try this technique out on your die cuts and your 6x6 paper pads soon. Don't forget you can use my code, Caitlin15, for 15% off your order. Thanks for watching. Bye.